We're getting a first look at Bill and Hillary Clinton testifying under oath. They were interviewed separately behind closed doors last week before the House Oversight Committee that's investigating convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Both Clintons testified for more than 4.5 hours and both denied having any knowledge of Epstein's crimes.
Did you witness anything unusual with Epstein that would lead you to believe that Epstein was creepy?
No, I never saw him do anything. There's nothing that I saw when I was around him that made me realize he was trafficking women.
I have answered for many hours now that I had no relationship because I never met the guy to my best recollection.
I want to bring in CBS News legal reporter Katrina Kaufman. Thanks so much for being here. So the former president was grilled about the times that he was on Epstein's private plane. What happened in those moments? Sort of break that down for us.
Well, what former President Bill Clinton said is he thought they had an understanding on the plane that basically Jeffrey Epstein would let him use this plane to set up his AIDS programs around the world. And in exchange, he would talk to him for about an hour about politics and economics. The way that he was set up with Epstein was through Larry Summers, the former Harvard president and Treasury Secretary who has had a bit of a fall from grace.
Also in hot water, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And what Summers had said is that Epstein was an information-hungry person, that he wanted to talk to Bill Clinton about politics and economics, and in exchange, he could use the plane, which could accommodate all of Clinton's staff and Secret Service, to set up these AIDS programs. But as we heard, he said he never saw any wrongdoing on those planes.
So let's talk about Secretary Clinton. There's video that was released that shows her reaction to learning that a picture that was taken by Representative Lauren Boebert was then posted online. She sent it to a MAGA influencer. I want to play a little bit of that.
There are photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying from inside this room. Can you please advise me as to whether or not that's permissible and consistent with the rules?
I'm done with this. If you guys are doing that, I am done. You can hold me in contempt from now until the cows come home. This is just typical behavior.
We will go off the record.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
So I would like to understand how that's permissible.
Before the hearing was...
It doesn't matter. We all are abiding by the same rules.
So it's so interesting to hear Lauren Boebert in responding to Secretary Clinton. She sounds cowed. In other words, she knows that she did something that she shouldn't have done. But it also sort of belies how, this is very serious. There's people who have died as a result of what this man, Jeffrey Epstein, did to them. There are survivors out there who are still demanding answers. We see outside of the United States that people are being taken to task. Here in the United States, what we're seeing is this sort of theater play out where supposedly this committee has serious questions for the secretary and the former president. Great. Get answers to those questions. And then you have this little bit of theater by this congresswoman, which I can understand. Even I think people who are not supporters of Hillary Clinton are like, why did that have to happen?
I think you're absolutely right, Vlad. And we saw a lot of defiance from Hillary during that deposition because she just said she didn't have any answers for them. She didn't know Jeffrey Epstein. She didn't remember being in a room with Jeffrey Epstein. And when it came to the photo, it violated committee rules. And it also went against what the Clintons wanted to begin with, which was for this to be public. What Hillary said when asked about that was she said sunlight is the best disinfectant. So she wanted the public to see this, but not just one little glimpse that a Republican person on the committee decided to leak out an image of her to portray what it was like in there.
All right, Katrina Kaufman, thank you.
Thank you.